What's up, guys? Ricky here with another review on the Death Metal Batman. And this is the DarkFather Build-A-Figure. So let's look at it in the package real quick. I love that face sculpt, looks good. So I do already have the Death Metal Batman. I got the original release. I did not get this one, of course. This one I just purchased from my friend because we are trying to build the DarkFather now. So you might have seen the Robin King review. So if you haven't checked that out, that's kind of the first one of the bunch that we're reviewing. So here we go. We got the DarkFather legs there, looking pretty good. Looks like it's going to be a pretty tall figure. Looks like it's going to be too tall, though, but looks nice. The guitar, where to start? It's interesting design. I know it's supposed to pose as a weapon. What this really needs is some silver highlights for sure on all the rivets, the buttons, the strings, and definitely a black wash just to make this look a little better. So I think it has potential for sure. So I'm just glad it came with the guitar. I think it's pretty neat. So very cool concept there. But yeah, look at this figure. So I love the face sculpt, love the textures and details. The leather looks nice. You could still do a good black wash on the gauntlets there. Definitely do a black wash on the skulls. And see, there's rivets there. You could definitely touch those up, even on the leather jacket, on the legs, with silver highlights. And I'll show you the difference. I did that with my other one, and I could show you side by side. But this one I did also get from vintage stock, just like the Superman. And it was buy one, get one. So I got two figures for $18.99. So that took us one step closer to building the DarkFather. So there's the front of the package. Here's the sides. You have Batman. Here's the back of the package. You have a really cool action figure shot here of him, with a guitar pedal and everything. That's sick. Playing guitar. And this is number 4 in the bunch. This is who we're building as the DarkFather. And you got to have all these figures to build him. And then here's the side. Dark Knight's Death Metal Batman. Okay, so let's open this up and see what we're looking at. Okay, here is Death Metal Batman out of the package. And super fun. So like I said, I own the original Death Metal Batman, and I absolutely love it. I think it's a really sweet figure. One of my favorite Batman figures, actually. I really like it. This one comes with a guitar. Like I said earlier, the guitar definitely can use some work with paint applications. As far as maybe adding some silver highlights, definitely a black wash. What I did notice is it looks like kind of like a dragon eye or some type of dragon on it, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, definitely, like I said, that black wash silver highlighting could work well. And I think with the spike, I would love to paint that silver. So this is obviously my buddy's, so not mine. So I'm not going to be able to do those painting pieces. But overall, it looks good. So you have a really good face sculpt, really cool leather jacket. Looks, like really good leather. There are some silver highlights on the spikes. However, it looks like you could touch them up a little bit more. Looks like you could black wash the gauntlet too, just to show off the textures. And it looks like there's definitely some opportunity around maybe doing some silver highlighting on some of the straps on the legs. And it looks like on the leather jacket too, right about there. So yeah, really good looking figure. Definitely some opportunity around some highlighting, but overall, pretty sweet. So this one also comes with the DarkFather legs. So you got a left leg there and a right leg. So it comes with the legs. And then also this one did come with a character card as well. So same image as the back of the package. And then the back. So if you want to read the file, you can pause now. Perfect. But yeah, look at that. That's awesome on stage. So very, very cool. Now, let's get into the articulation. So you can go up about that far. So pretty good at looking up. Can look very far down, which is nice. You have a nice little head pivot. And you do have nice rotation as well. Shoulders go up about 90 degrees. So trench coat kind of hinders it from going any higher. You do have double jointed elbows, which is nice. You do have wrist articulation and pivot as well. You do have a ab crunch. So ab crunch is not very far forward, just a little bit. And you can go back, but the trench coat kind of hinders from doing too much articulation. But there also is side to side, so do a little side to side action and then rotation. Now legs go up about 90 degrees, which is nice. You have double jointed knees. You have ankle articulation, ankle pivot, and toe articulation as well. So very cool. So I think the articulation on this one is pretty good. Pretty standard from McFarlane, but still pretty good. Okay, so here's a side-by-side of the first generation Death Metal Batman and the new one. And I did a slight customizations on this one, and I'll show you the difference. It's super subtle, but just wanted to show you real quick. So if you look at the spikes on this one, like I said, they did some silver coverage, but there's also quite a bit of black showing too on certain pieces. What I did with this one is I just went over the spikes. So you can tell there's more silver on the spikes. I want them to pop more. Then as you can see here, I decided to black wash the gauntlet. So that is unwashed. That is washed, right? So super simple, just black watered down paint put over the top. Did the same thing, washed the belt versus this belt. And with the lighting, you can't tell a huge difference, but I did black wash that. I added silver highlighting to all the rivets and the buckles, the belts, the spikes there on the side, whereas this one doesn't have any of that painted, right? This is just all solid black or solid gray, no touch-ups. So I did do that as well, just because I think those little subtleties make a big difference, in my opinion, when you're actually posing it and stuff. So I notice. So here's the back, and here's the back here. So as you can see as well, so just solid black, right? Did the silver on the buckles and the rivets there. So yes, just want to show that off a little bit. So it's not like huge details, but I'm just showing you what stuff you could potentially do with yours if you do want to do a little bit of customization. And it's just silver highlights that make it look good. So, and then also I did black wash this staff. It's a little hard to see, but just a black wash. But it looks really good. It looks so much better now because it was just plain brown. So it looks good. And then one thing I did not talk about real quick with the articulation, I kind of missed it, is there is a thigh swivel. So it does rotate side to side right above these buckles. That's very cool. Okay, here we go. Let's get into the articulation of the DarkFather here. So we have the head articulation. Looks up pretty far, which is good, because sometimes McFarlane doesn't look up too far. So it looks up good. Looks down, decent. Looks down okay. You have a really nice head pivot there, so side to side. And you have a really good rotation as well. Now, the arms, you do have shoulder articulation. Just to let you know, when you assemble this guy, the arms are super, super tight, just to let you know. So it's kind of a pain. So it does have bicep swivel, elbow joints. The elbow joints are super hard to bend, and I don't want to force them too much, but it only goes like, you only get slight range of motion, which is unfortunate. And these things are very sharp, by the way, so it's kind of hard to maneuver and grip onto those, just to let you know. And then you do have some wrist articulation as well. Now you do have a ab crunch, so crunches forward about that far, so not too far. Crunches back pretty good, which is not too bad. You obviously can rotate really well. Legs go up fairly high, so you go to almost 90 degrees. You can go out and you can do the splits, so you can go out pretty far, which is nice. You do have double jointed knees, and you do have ankle articulation, pivot, and toe articulation. So very cool. So it came with some really some decent articulation, so not bad. I think out of all of it, I think I really do like the head articulation. You get a lot of movement there, which is good. You can get to look forward, look back. Cool chin thing going on. So very cool. Okay, here's a size comparison of the DarkFather Wave. So obviously we have DarkFather is the tallest in the middle. It looks like, as you kind of zoom out a little bit, looks like Superman is slightly taller than Wonder Woman, and Batman is slightly taller as well. So it looks like Superman and Batman stand about the same height, with Robin King being quite a bit shorter. So here we go. So let's do a quick measurement here. So it looks like your DarkFather stands at 8 inches exactly. You have Wonder Woman, which stands about 7 and maybe a quarter. So 7¼ inches, and it looks like it's about the same throughout the board. With your Robin King standing at about 6 inches tall. So yeah, there you go. So I think those are all pretty good heights. I think they're all in height with each other, because obviously Wonder Woman stands about the same height as them, but also is wearing high heels, so I think that makes sense. So yeah, loving the height of these figures. Okay, here's DarkFather Build-A-Figure next to some other Build-A-Figures. So we have Atrocitus there on the right, we have the Bane Build-A-Figure on the left, and then to the far right we have the Merciless. So these figures stand about, so it looks like Atrocitus stands a little bit above 9 inches tall. We have the DarkFather that stands about 8 inches, maybe a little bit above. You have Bane, which stands about 8.5 inches. You have Merciless, which also stands about 8.5 inches. So That is the size comparison, just so you know. And I would also love to hear in the comments, what is your favorite Build-A-Figure that McFarlane has done so far? Okay, final thoughts on the DarkFather wave. I think this wave is pretty darn cool. So I have not read the death metal comics before, but the death metal designs I think are just really kind of out of this world. I think they're really cool. They're really dark, really gritty, kind of looking character designs. Like the Batman there, like I love the spikes, I love the look. Robin King looks really menacing. Superman looks really unique and very awesome looking too. Wonder Woman might be the one that surprised me the most out of the whole bunch. I think the detail, character design, the attention to like the paint application on the shoulders of the skulls, etc. I think that one's probably the standout figure. I think that's the best one out of it in my opinion. And then creating the DarkFather I think is really neat. So overall, I say this is definitely a really good Build-A-Figure series, and I highly recommend it. So right now they are pretty cheap on Amazon, so if you're looking to complete the DarkFather, go for it. I think the figures in it are pretty good. And yeah, don't have a whole lot else to say, just that, yeah, they look good. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll keep continuing to bring reviews and customizations and other things like that to you all. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.